This is Berk. It's 12 days north of Hopeless and a few degrees south of freezing to death. It's located solidly on the meridian of misery. My village. In a word, sturdy. It's been here for 7 generations, but every single building is new. We have fishing, hunting, and charming view of the sunsets. The only problems are the pests. You see, most places have mice or mosquitoes. We have dragons.
How to Train Your Dragon, the hidden economic concepts.
To begin, we need to explain what has happened in the How to Train Your Dragon franchise before the third and final movie. Basically,
in the first movie, Hiccup meets a Night Fury dragon he calls Toothless, who is the last of his kind due to Grimmel hunting them down.
In the second movie, he fights a Trapper Warlord, his dad the Chief dies, and Toothless becomes the Dragon Alpha.
in the third, the two learn to be leaders, while a dragon hunter goes after Toothless.
The movie starts with a raid on a trapper barge. Several dragons are taken back to Berk, where it is shown the island is overcrowded with dragons. This leads to a scarcity of land on the island of Berk. Scarcity is when there is a limited amount of a resource, and it is permanently limited. Land is an example of this because it is limited and not replenishable.
Fishmeat, you found a new friend. Hide your heads!
Because of the raid on the Trapper barge, the warlords debate about dragon shipment interceptions. Because they have insufficient dragons to continue their plan of conquest, their demand for dragons rises. Demand is how much of a given product the consumers, warlords, want of the given product, dragons.
You can thank the young chief of Berk for that.
Stoics, boy.
He and his peace-loving dragon riders continue to raid our ships and steal our dragons.
That does sound like a nuisance.
The third scene that shows an economic concept would be when Grimmel shows up to help the warlords. He states that he killed the entire Night Fury subspecies, except for Toothless. This means there's a shortage of them, because the amount has been greatly decreased, but there can be more born in the future. A shortage is a temporary decrease in supply, represented here by a wholesale murder of a particular subspecies. But because one remains, the population can recover.
Well, unlike you, when I was a boy and I came upon a Night Fury, I killed it where it slept. That simple act of courage made me a hero in my village. So I decided to kill every last one, bringing real peace to the people of this world.
Hiccup is forced to make a choice as the new chief. Should they bunker down and risk the lives of their dragons when they know the safety of the island is compromised? Or should they make the first move and flee? While they want to remain on the island like they have for many generations, they need to survive, preferably with as few dragon casualties as possible. A need is something that you require to live, while you can survive without getting something that you want.
If we want to live in peace with our dragons, we need a better plan.
So, what are you saying, Chief?
I'm saying we have to disappear. Off the map. Take the dragons to a place where no one will find them.
Later on, Hiccup and Toothless find that the Night Fury won't let Hiccup near her. So, Hiccup decides to fashion a tail for Toothless that he can manipulate on his own without the need for it to be operated by a rider. This is an example of human capital, or the skills a person has needed to create something to operate complex machinery. This contrasts with physical capital, the primitive machinery itself.
Oh, someone hasn't slept.
Yeah, well, that Light Fury won't let me within a mile of her. And neither of us will be getting any sleep or finding the hidden world until Toothless takes over. Hey! What do you think of that?
final scene that shows an economic concept, funnily enough, is at the end of the film, when Hiccup is talking to Toothless and they decide that the dragons will go to the hidden world. Off the map. Disappear. This shows opportunity cost, because he picks this over keeping the dragons on Berk and living with them, which would be the next best option.
Oh, Stormfly. My good girl.
All right, Grumpy. Off you go. So long, you big ugly beast. I'll miss you.
Oh, Cloud Jumper.
Thanks for watching. These were the economic concepts in the final installment of How to Train Your Dragon. Specifically, 6.
There were dragons when I was a boy.